This is Tomorrow's People, a production of the Liberia Media for Democratic Initiatives. Tomorrow's People is today launching Year 3, all girls quizzing and the national quizzing competition across Liberia. Today we're honored to be joined and to serve as the chief launcher, no other but Sister Mary Lorraine Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, we now welcome Director John Cully, who will lead this part of the program.
All right. Sister Lauren, welcome. Minister Latim Dathong, our partner of the movement, the Youth Movement for Collective Action, Urias Brooks, joining us beginning this year. We're very glad to have him. He's been very, very supportive here in his group. Sister has always shown concern. She goes to the interior with us. This is, I think, the third or second time. Sister was in Kakata with us. All of you know Sister, so she has got great interest in you. Today we are doing actually 3 things in one. What we are doing here first is to launch Year 3. When we started this in 2015, we told you this would be an annual event no matter what. We're doing that. We just ended Year 3, and Our Lady of Fatima in Maryland was the greatest team in Year 2. So they got our trophy this year. We're glad to report to you that they've done well, and they got a cup. You got to fight now in Year 3 to take from them. And it's not easy to go to Maryland, so you better work hard to take it from them. The second thing we're doing here today, we're testing sort of girls, young people debate. And we have launched ever since the election Ducal debates. But we, as ever, don't want to do events in this country. We want to do things that are sustained. So we are sustaining Ducal debates to involve you, the big politicians, the big people, talking your issues. So today we are doing a test of that, again with girls. The third is, since we launched, we have seen very powerful girls in this business, but there have been just few of them. People like Tabitha Rabos and the other girl from Maryland. I can't remember their name. One from St. Michael. I saw her in our TU the other day. But we want as many women, as many girls to come. That is not happening. So we decided that henceforth we'll create a special space where the girls will come and compete and build their confidence for the greater competition. The essence of this is to create equality in a way in your competition. So we're glad to be launching this today. Sister Mary Lorraine Brown is here to launch that with a statement, following which the minister will also make a statement. Then we start the debate today. Sister Lorraine, thank you for supporting us again.
Mr. Minister and members of the LMDI, I never fail to be impressed. Each time I get the chance to listen to what you are doing with our young people or to participate actively in any of your activities like I'm doing today. So I want to congratulate you on that. You know, we have the parable that says one finger cannot pick what? Yes, so we need as many fingers as possible to help us educate our children. We cannot always refer to past days. It wasn't like that. And we can bring out the best from the past, combine it with what we have today and help you move forward. When I heard that LMDI was having a girl component, all girls, I think that's an excellent idea. But perhaps too, with the teams coming from the schools that I registered, I think if there's an insistence that the teams have both boys and girls on there, because what you will find out, you will find all boys teams coming from those schools. So if they insist, I don't think the girls have such low self-confidence. Usually they say boys are smarter when it comes to math subjects, science. I'm not quite sure whether the researchers have done their jobs thoroughly. I think you can have twins, children born of the same parents, and one can be very quick to learn and the other one a little slower, right? And there are no absolute answers. The research still continues. So I think the girls put in the same situation can do just as well. Our society for a long time has been favoring boys. You've been pushing them forward. But I believe that boys and girls should go neck to neck. Because you push too many girls, then the boys are left behind. It's not good for our society or for any society. So both the boys and girls have to be pushed to do well, and to do well not only for their own sakes, but for the sake of their schools and for the sake of our country. So it gives me great pleasure, and I'll be watching out to see which team of girls will win the first tournament, will be the finalists, or eventually will get the trophy. So as we launch this special phase of the spelling bee, I want to encourage you as students to study together. That helps when you study in groups. So study together and be humble enough to help one another. What you know, share. If you don't have the dictionary, use a dictionary. Luckily for you now, there are these phones. You can have your dictionaries installed on them where you can get the correct pronunciations. Because sometimes, unfortunately, not all teachers can help their students as they should. So there are certain things you can do on your own. And I'm sure, given all the help that you need and your own drive to succeed, you'll do well. Do not be afraid. Do not draw back. Just say to yourself, I am gifted. And I'm gifted because God has gifted me, and I am using what God has given me. On that note, I hereby declare the third year open, especially the part with just girls competing.
Thank you, sister. Deputy Minister Lateem Dathon has joined us to make a comment. This time we seem to have a strong partnership with the government. The old time we didn't have it. Our brother Lateem and the new minister have shown very, very big interest in you, and they have shown it ever since we started this. They sent the assistant minister the other day. They are just beginning, they are busy, but you can see that Minister Dathon has joined us. Minister, you want to make a small comment here?
Good afternoon. All protocols observed. Let me first say a big thank you to the LMDI family for doing an amazing job with this program that is now going to the third year. As John just said, our administration is geared towards helping programs like this, because the role that these kinds of programs play in terms of sharpening young minds and actually developing intellectuals is key for nation building. Societies cannot grow without critical thinkers. Critical thinkers can never emerge unless these kinds of things are used to nurture the human capacity. No matter how much intellectual gift you are born with, it has to be nurtured so that you can maximize your potential. And that's what programs like this can do. We are going to continue, as John said, supporting the program. The ministry is fully committed to supporting this program. I'm very happy that they are launching a girls' portion of the program. And the reason that why I'm happy is because if you look at the historical context of Africa, not just Liberia, the sad thing is, for so long, our girls have been left behind. It has always been families' perspectives, if you go back to 100 years ago, that is investing in a boy was a better investment than investing in a girl. That's just been the African way. These kinds of initiatives will change that paradigm, because we can actually show that our girls are just as smart as our boys. They have just the same level of competence and capability, and giving these types of atmosphere can really maximize the potential. There are several more female presidents in this hall for this country someday. Madam Salif was not the last. But to get there, these are the kinds of programs that we need. The transformatory process for where you start to analyze, think, compete, process information begins at this level. So to the LMDI family, we want to say thank you for what you are doing, John, and your team. The ministry is fully committed to supporting you in whatever way possible, and we hope we have a fruitful partnership. To our young competitors, do your best, because that's all we can ask of you. Thank you, and enjoy the competition.
Thank you.